Hi, everyone. Joe Kehrig with the Kehrig Real Estate team here, and week number 3, sheltering in place in real estate. And as we always talk about, I always open up by saying, our thoughts are with you and your families. Stay sheltered, be safe, and we're all in this together. And we're going to talk a little bit later in this video what we're trying to do for our clients. One of the things we're trying to do is just this video because real estate seems so unimportant right now, but I am still getting calls, and it's our way. After 42 years, it's something I can at least contribute to the conversation and kind of keep people up to date if you're just curious or you're thinking about selling down the line or you're thinking about buying. Um, this week was another week of, I think, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. As I mentioned last week, every time someone dies, it's a step back, even though we're getting a lot of positive news. I mean, obviously, the supplies are picking up. The the hospital ships are in New York and on the West Coast, and they're finding all sorts of different virus killers, and obviously more good news on the malaria drug. So I want to sprinkle this obviously with some good news because I really do think it's 2 steps forward back and 1 step back. But the step back this week for me was devastating. I mean, we're up to around 4,000 deaths, which is 4,000 too many. And now the government is saying that there could be between 120,000 and 240,000, almost a quarter million people potentially. And what's the difference between 120 and 240? Well, I think you can see it in places like New York, where they started social distancing later in the game, and there's such a congestion of people. And then you look at California, which is, Governor Newsom started the sheltering in place and the social distancing early. And California, and knock on wood, has not been affected near as much as they should have with the population that we have. But it kind of shows that the sheltering in place is working. So it's so important. The difference between the 120,000 and the 240,000, it's me and it's you following the social distancing and the shelter in place. Now, I will tell you that in the last week, Homeland Security said real estate was one of the essential businesses. Now, having said that, there's a lot of controversy with that. They go, well, why is real estate an essential service? Well, I think number one is more than anything else, you we always talk about the home being an investment, and it really is more than that. It's where we're sheltering in place with our significant others and our loved ones. And a house has really become a home for us. And that is why it's important. Having said that, there are very strict regulations, put on the real estate industry, as there should be. There's no open houses. There's no broker tours. We're supposed to show homes virtually. And if we do show homes, we can show them to one person at one time. So, and ideally, if they're vacant, so much the better. What we do on the Kehrig team is we basically arrive at a home. We mainly are just showing our vacant listings. We'll arrive at a home, open up all the doors, turn on all the lights. We have some spray bottles that we give to the potential buyer. We have them disinfect themselves, go through, and we tell them not to touch anything. Then we have them disinfect on the way out. We go through, disinfect the homes as much as we can. So it's very strict guidelines. I mentioned before that a couple weeks ago we were getting homes ready. Well, we can't do that anymore because unless it's a health and safety situation, we can't get carpet people or painters or anybody else out there. So if we had a home ready to go, um, that's great. We'll put it on the market for all the reasons we talked about before. But because obviously there's not a lot of homes coming on the market right now, it's staying pretty stable, as you'll see. But if we have a home that needs some work to be done, well, we're just waiting. And we have to wait. And it's a smart thing to wait. And now Governor Newsom has put the date of May 3rd which I think is a good thing, a whole nother month, because the social distancing is working and the sheltering in place. So I'm still, even with the devastating news of the deaths coming up, and let's pray to God that they're less than that. But even with that news, I do think in the third quarter we'll start to recover. There is a balancing act as far as our economy. I mean, the life, a person's life always has to take precedent, but at some point we have to make sure we protect those vulnerable people, but get back to business slowly but surely, and hopefully that can start in May. If it's not the right thing to do, then I know that Governor Newsom and President Trump will make the right call as far as that goes. So I do feel that once we're on the other side of this recovery, it's going to be a V recovery. And the reason why, and again, the reason I'm giving these videos is I've been professionally selling real estate for 42 years through the last 5 recessions. And I've lived and sold through those recessions. And in 2008, I mean, it took 6 years to get through that recession. In 9/11, it took 3 months. But part of the reason in 2008, as we showed in previous graphs, the real estate is what caused the recession. But the economy right now was so strong going in. This housing market was so strong, interest rates so weak, so low, historical lows, and they're staying pretty stable right now. So we're still, in good shape as far as that goes. So what's going to happen? We're going to come on the other side of this, and I will absolutely tell you, we are going to be a stronger country. We're going to learn some hard lessons, and they're going to be very costly lessons, but we're going to learn them, and we're going to be better, and we're going to come out on the other side of this. Hopefully it's in a couple months, could be 3 or 4 months, but I know our leaders, whatever the right decision, they'll make it. I want to show you this first slide, and I saw this and I thought about it, and the only good thing about the next 3 weeks is that the whole country should finally realize that we can survive in a world without celebrities and professional sports. And the farmers aren't shutting down, though. I love watching sports. As my clients know, we have, and our friends, we have A's tickets, A season tickets that we give away all during the year. And hopefully there'll be some sort of a season left that we can get you guys out, to the ballpark again, if it's safe to do so. But I will tell you, is I've always kind of leaned this way, but now even more than ever, we've always known that our military is, our real heroes, our first responders. Well, the one thing that we're really, learning, it's our military, it's our first responders, it's our doctors and our nurses, it's the truck drivers. I will tell you, when I pass a truck driver right now, they're working. The people in the store stocking the shelves, and the farmers where the food is coming from. Really think about it. Those are our real heroes. I'll look at an athlete and I'll look at a movie star and I'll sit there, hey, they're talented, they're good at what they do, but they'll never be a hero to me. We are seeing right now who the real heroes are. The doctors and the nurses, unprotected, going in every day. Our military, our National Guard, setting up these hospitals, these huge hospitals within days. My God, those are our real heroes. So obviously, talking about the real estate market, first off, before we dive into that, the Kehrig team we're trying to do 3 things because we're all in this together. And we're there to support each other. Number one, these videos, I hope you like these videos and you find them, helpful as far as keeping you up with the market. It certainly makes me feel like I'm giving back. The other thing too is, a month ago when we saw this coming, we ordered 1,000 of these hand sanitizers that you see on your screen. And we also ordered 1,000 little sanitizer, bottles. And we want to get those out to our friends and our clients. So just email us. You'll see our email at the end of this. And because at some point we're going to be able to go back out there into the public. But it's going to be different. We're not going to shake hands. We're not going to hug, which I love to be able to do, but we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to sanitize when we get out of our car, sanitize when we get in. So that's a second thing that we're trying to do for our friends and clients. The third thing is because we are out still every once in a while safely as we have to be for our business because we still have properties in escrow and we have buyers and sellers that are in the middle of a transaction. So we have to be there for them. People ask, what's your essential service? Our essential service is not painting a house that's going to go on the market a month from now and putting anybody at risk. But it's, being able to help a buyer who's in the middle of an escrow close that escrow and help a seller move on to their next home. So the third thing we want to offer is why we're out and about. If you need something health and safety, now the one thing I will tell you for the first time, last week I did Instacart and I ordered a bunch of food from Costco. And I'll tell you, it was pretty neat. I don't understand how when I see these pictures of the grocery store, and I used to be here, we're sheltering in place, and there's, you know, 10 people in line at a grocery store. Look up Instacart. I mean, it's dirt cheap. It's almost costs, your gas almost costs more to go out, and they deliver food right to your door. So again, look at that way so you can help stay sheltered. But there's some people that aren't able to do that for whatever reason, and because we're out and about when we have to be, we want to offer that. If you need something for your health or your safety, or food or medication, please reach out to us because we want to be there for you. You've been there for me and for us, over the last 40 years. We want to be there for you. So the market, you're starting to see the slowdown as we expected. You see in Danville, surprisingly enough, when you look at, the pendings went up from 82 to 85 and they closed 11. That means that there were 14 homes to go pending last week, which is huge. I mean, I'm really surprised. You can see the active properties are staying the same because remember what I told you. You can drop me any place in the United States, and all I have to do is look at the actives and the pendings, and I can tell you where the market's going. Well, Danville, it's still pretty stable, but you're going to see the changes because what's going to happen is you'll see in the following slides, like the next one was San Ramon. You can see that we actually had 21 transactions close, but we went down from the pendings from 85 to 70. Well, what that means is basically we had 6 additional homes go pending because 15 of the pendings last week closed, and so we had 6 more go pending. So that's still not too bad, but you can see the pending sales going from 85 to 70, last week, and the closings going from 26 to 21. You're going to see these things back off little bit by little bit by little bit. And there will be a period when we get into the third quarter where there's going to be a lot of inventory come on the market. What's really going to tell us how fast this market's going to recover is the absorption rate of those new listings coming on. And I'll be here every week to be able to do this for you and let you know what's going on. You see it in Blackhawk. Obviously, the active listings have come up a little bit because you still have some homes coming on the market. But again, you see the pending sales going from 14 2 weeks ago to 8 last week. And with 7 closed escrow, there was only 1 property that went pending last week in Blackhawk. And it's the same type of picture in Alamo. You can see the pendings going from 21 to 15, active listings going from 32 to 28. And with 7 closed escrows last week, that means that there was just one pending sale that happened, last week in Alamo. So slowly but surely, you're going to see this market, turn around a little bit. So as always, and I always like to end it, here's my information. If you would like some spray bottles delivered to your house to put in your car, email us at joe@kehrigteam.com. You've got my personal phone number there. And as I always like to end this, one thing that we've always told our kids, it's kind of what we tell our kids when we see them, and that's may God bless you and keep you safe. And may God bless the United States of America, and may God bless the world. Thanks. Please feel free to reach out, and we'll be giving you your update next week.